This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Right. There he is.
Here I am. Appreciate the patience. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Some guy here, and I'm interested to get your point of view on this. Says that's kind of my problem with the Brittney Griner thing. I'm sure Russia's making an example of her, but why put yourself in that position? How could you have anything in your bag like paraphernalia? That's true. They're going to make her an example, and they're going to want to use her as trade bait for some scumbag that like a real criminal that we have here for somebody that had a vape pen or whatever the hell, which is just ridiculous.
It's easy to say from the other side, and hindsight is 20/20 always. But at the same time, man, like accidents happen. I've flown with a vape pen by accident before. Like things are in your pocket.
Yeah, but she wasn't. I don't think that one was by accident. That one was.
It's not like she had a pound on her. It's not like had a brick in her suitcase.
I'm not criminalizing her for that bullshit. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah,
bro. Weed is crap. But if you're traveling to China, North Korea, Cuba, Russia, what other country am I missing? You're going to one of those places, bro. You need to walk the finest of straight lines in your life. And so, yeah, she deserves some blame to put herself in that position. That was dumb. You know what I mean? But now, unfortunately, she's going to be a pawn.
I'm not going to, of course, she might warrant a crumb of the blame, but I'm not willing to say well, sucks for you, shouldn't have done that, and then stop caring. It's still
you can't stop caring.
The response to this over a minuscule amount of
it's stupid. But for
them, concentrated marijuana, it is.
But for them,
it's asinine for Russia to be doing that.
But for them, it's a ploy, and they get to
it's 100%.
You know what I mean? And listen, she's not the only one. There's some other Americans in there too that have been there longer than her. And they're not, and that's another problem that's developed out of that, because those people are complaining hey, nobody's talking about our people there, and Brittney's getting all the pub because she's famous, and they're not. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So it's a really difficult situation, man. Here's the strangest part about it all: if Putin had a brain and he wanted to win a PR game, just a little PR game, his Russian athletes are not being allowed to play in Wimbledon and other places now, right? He could have used this as a ploy, hey, we may have our issues and our problems, but athletes aren't part of this, and we're not going to hold Brittney Griner here for this or anything like that. She's an athlete. She didn't mean anything bad by it. We're not going to mistreat her, this and that. And people shouldn't be treating Russian athletes because of political issues. We're going to do the same with Brittney. He could have actually spun that to help his Russian athletes, actually.
Probably.
Anyway, I thought of that, but, obviously that
would require him to care about his
exactly people. about a human being, about his own people too, by the way, which he doesn't even mention about his own people. So yeah, I see you were at a golf tournament there.
Yeah, it was
the real question I have for you, was Rachel Bush there?
She was not, at least not that I saw. No.
Well, then it's not worth going to the golf tournament. But go ahead.
Would have been interesting, because I have social media history with Rachel Bush that's not entirely positive. So that would have given us a chance to.
Well, she's kind of boisterous. Yeah, I know she. I know.
Talk it out face to face. But I have a good relationship with Jordan Poyer, dating all the way back to Buffalo. Covered him for a couple seasons. So
she's a smoke show, boy.
Good seeing him.
Smoke show.
To each their own. But
smoke show.
Saw Tua. Tua's actually golfing with Poyer. They're in the same group. Got to remember to ask how that turned out, because I know Poyer is actually really good.
Tua and who?
Tua and Jordan Poyer were golfing in the same group. I know Poyer is like a 9 handicap or something insane. So we'll see how that ended up with Tua there. But
QBs and kickers are usually your best players.
Yeah, I think he taught himself. Both of them taught themselves how.
And that's all hand-eye coordination stuff. usually. And there's this touch. Kickers too, since they got a stroke with their leg, it's kind of one of those things that they just,
It's one of those
baseball,
where you just have
baseball,
pitchers.
baseball players also make a nice transition to golf because the swing this way is a lot like the swing the other way too. You know what I mean? It's
There
interesting.
is there's subtle differences though. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
you can't just swing hard like you do at a baseball.
No, but
Like you do a baseball
the
bat.
spinning of the wrists are kind of the same way too in golfing and in baseball, where you have a little bit of your spinning of the wrists. There's a lot of similarities to it, is what I'm saying. It's not exactly the same, but if you notice some of the athletes that turn into good golfers, you look at where they play, and a lot of them are quarterbacks or kickers or
Core,
baseball
anything that
players.
requires your core to turn and torque,
Yeah.
then yeah, that's
And touch and and hand-eye coordination, that kind of stuff. Even though the kicker is not hand-eye, but it's still kind of
foot eye.
it's still kind of one of those things.
I'm just
That's always, by the way, that's always been my theory on why the United States of America only develops world-class goalies for decades now, and at the soccer level, world class. We've had guys that have gone and played in Europe all over the place. Now we're starting to develop maybe some forwards and all that. I wouldn't say world class, but we're starting to get there. But why do we develop world class goalies for many, many years? Because all American sports require hand-eye coordination. So that's where an advantage. That's why our goalies are usually pretty damn good in soccer.
I think if we really put our time and resources into youth soccer academies and had kids playing soccer instead of football, that the USA could be among the elite in the world at this sport.
Amen.
Like
Amen. Our best athletes are starting to play soccer now. So we're
yeah.
starting to get some
So,
of those, but our elite athletes are still playing the American sports.
and like, there's not really a whole lot of incentive to do that. Like, if you're a parent and you know your athlete is your child is gonna be a spectacular athlete, Dame Lillard just signed a 2-year, $120 million extension.
Yeah.
NFL money is getting there. Like, there's not really a whole lot of incentive. The MLS money in soccer, at least in stateside, is not there yet.
Yeah, but you have more places to get money from in soccer than you do in any individual sport. So you have now you have more opportunities than ever. Now there's the real problem is the money that it takes to raise a soccer, baseball, and hockey player nowadays. That's really the problem. Football, it doesn't take that much. It's not as bad, and you don't have all the traveling teams and all that stuff in football. You just go to high school and you're fine, and you'll move on.
Also, kind of curious, where's
hockey, tennis, soccer, and baseball? Oh my God, those parents spend a lot of money. Holy shit!
and where are lacrosse? Where are these sports? Where are these sports being played? Like, you don't see. I think that there's a consistent demographic in which youth soccer academies are formed.
Right.
And if there were a way, I don't have the answer to it. I'm just highlighting an issue. If there were a way to extend that into certain communities where a lot of our best athletes come from,
right,
then who knows what our soccer team could look like in the future.
Yeah.
But and it's not just that. It's not just soccer. It's like you said. There's hockey. What about lacrosse, golf, tennis? Like, it's expensive, but that's a cover. It's a cover that it's expensive because it doesn't have to be. Like, it doesn't have to. You get football is a ton of equipment and even more expensive in terms of insurance for insurance to in regards to like organized team activities, and that's in Black communities. That's in minority communities. We're not having the trouble playing football. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if soccer was cheaper to play than football is in terms of outfitting a team.
Yes, but not to travel. That's the problem with soccer. That's where the money comes. Is that the soccer, you got to be part of travel teams, and that's a boatload of money, man, for parents. I feel bad Some parents have kids that are talented enough to play a bunch of sports, and they don't have the money to put those kids through travel hockey, travel baseball, travel soccer. Oh God, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. And then you got to wait till the kid gets to high school, and then they've missed out on a lot of playing time to kind of sharpen those skills. All right, you told me you have a funny story coming out of.
Yeah, it actually has. I will add though that I mean, in America, we have figured it out in one regard. Like our women's team is a class of their own. I want to say world class, but I mean league of their own. So the formula is there. The recipe is there.
In soccer, they've caught up now. We're not as dominant as we were in soccer. They have caught up to us in soccer. In basketball, we're still
caught up or closed the gap.
We're still the creme de la creme, but in soccer, they've closed the gap on us, man.
I think it's reverse. Like women's team lost last year. They had to battle it out last what was it? Yeah, the Olympics. Like I think that closed the gap and caught up completely are not exactly the same. I think they narrowed the gap. I don't think they caught up. So now, okay, instead of losing 6-0, you might only lose 4-0.
You mean you talk about in soccer?
Yeah.
In soccer? No. I think I think they've caught up to the ladies. The ladies aren't an automatic shoo-in anymore in soccer. But we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. So, what funny story do you have?
Has nothing to do with football or my job. So I was on vacation, right? A couple weeks ago. I was in the Bahamas. At the lobby of our resort, my AirPods fell out of my pocket. Fell into the chair. I had the little city boy shorts on, pockets aren't good. And I realized they were missing the next morning and tried to track them through the resort. I saw one headphone was here, one headphone was there, but they were still in the building. And eventually I think they died. So I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Like I go to the front desk and ask, and they're like, look, man, if somebody returns them, like it's over. Like you're never seeing them again. I said, fine. Last week they popped up in Fort Lauderdale, but they pop up at like 10 p.m. And so I was ready to go over there. I was actually on my way over there, and I was told by multiple sources to not. So I didn't, and figured, okay, they're going to use them at work, right? They're going to use them somewhere. They're going to pop up again, and then I will pull up in broad daylight. Haven't been used since. So today I'm in Fort Lauderdale for this golf tournament. I figured, let me just stop by that house and see what's going on. So I stopped by the house. It's an Airbnb, completely empty. I see a neighbor who just pulled in. I said, hey, what do you know about this house over here? I had some property that popped up in here. Oh, yeah, that's Penny's house. Hold on. Like, I know the guy who cleans their house. Let me call her and see if they know. And so I hear him on the phone talking like, hey, so who was there? Oh, they were just in the Bahamas. And I was like, we got him. We got him. And so the woman eventually asked for my number. She called me and was trying to get her daughter, because I guess they're in Bahamas with their kids. So trying to get her daughter on like the phone, the three-way. And finally she's like, oh my God, I am so sorry. My kids found them, and they said that, if they turned them into the front desk, they didn't think you'd ever see them again. So they brought them with them, and then there was no way to get them back to you when they're in the States. So they just took them. Like, they're not thieves. They're not, I promise, it's okay. And I was like, I'm on the phone like, I really don't care. I just really want my stuff back. Right, I don't care if they're thieves. They're good people. They put them in there. It does not matter to me at all. I just want my stuff back.
Well, you got to love the technology behind it, at least, that you're
right. Like, come on, man. I feel like I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm Geraldo Rivera. I'm an investigative reporter, detective, man, like asking neighbors, what do you know about this here house? I tracked the property to this. So they're sending them back, was profoundly apologetic. I do know they're on lost mode. So if they try to connect them to their phone, my phone number popped up at some point, and they consciously decided not to call me.
Not to call you, right.
And not to mention, it's been 6 days since they popped up. They haven't been just lugging around dead AirPods for 6 days. I know they reset them, factory reset. They've been using them. Like, you tried. And that's fine. You made your play, but I also made mine. So I want my stuff back.
Right.
So that is, I was dealing with that on my way back from Fort Lauderdale. I figured this was my shot, and almost made it back in time. But yeah, man, God is good. Great day today.
That is good, man. Because those things, they're like $150, $200, right?
$250, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're
anymore.
talking about you might just want to get new ones. You get new ones, bro. I'm not trying to get no $250 headphones again.
Yeah, no. If you can get them back, you get them back, bro. What are you crazy? $250 don't grow on trees.
Why have the tracking device on here if I can't find them when they're lost? Like, it's the whole point. But like, what are the odds? Like, you thought you got away with some. You thought you just came with some headphones, and you just so happen to be all the people that go to Bimini. You just so happen to turn them on 30 minutes away from where the owner of those headphones resides, and then you still thought you got away. They're in Tennessee right now. You still thought you got away, and then moms gets a call on a Monday morning. Shoot, man. I hope you get grounded. She was nice though. The mother was an angel. It's the kids, like you said, kids these days, man.
Right. It's just man. What are you gonna do, bro? It's kids. I mean, it is.
I'm gonna get my stuff back. That's all I'm gonna do. I wasn't going in there, gun in hand, banging on the door. I wasn't calling the SWAT team. I was just like, I want my things back. That's all I want. I want to press charges. I want to do this. I want to do that. I just want my shit back.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. What are you expecting from the Baker Mayfield move to Carolina? When you saw that, what'd you think of it?
Again, it doesn't move the needle. It doesn't move the needle for Carolina. It gives them a top 10 quarterback in the conference, but the conference is extremely weak at that position. It doesn't make them better than the Buccaneers. It doesn't make them better than the Saints. So I don't think that they're moving very far in their own division, which means they're not going to make the playoffs. It's just like it is a team that habitually it's a team that habitually picks up placeholders over the past 3 seasons or so. Like, bite the damn bullet and get a real quarterback. Like, I understand that. I understand why they wanted Deshaun Watson. I don't condone it, but I understand why they were going so hard after him. And honestly, like, I had people from the Panthers organization asking me for Deshaun Watson's family's contact info during that whole trade saga. Like, that's how desperate they were, but it also shows you how damn far away they were from actually landing him. If you've got to go to a reporter who hasn't been there for 4 years to ask for his family's contact info, then they never had a real shot. So it is a desperate organization right now.
Oh, yeah, no.
That is where we are with this Baker Mayfield trade. But
that they have no choice. They're so desperate at this point. I got to tell you something. If I'm them, I probably would have waited a little bit more and done Garoppolo instead of Baker. For me personally, I think he's the better passer out of the two guys. I know he has trouble staying healthy and he has trouble with that clutch play. But with Baker, he's not good enough of an athlete, and I just think he's kind of limited a little bit at times. And so, to me, this is just one of those gambles out of pure desperation that is just going to get everybody fired. Basically,
I mean, like, what are the stipulations for Rule this year? If you're David Tepper, what are you telling Matt Rule you need to do? You need to win 8 games? Do you need to be in the hunt, the wild card hunt? Do you need to make the playoffs? Because if that's it, you might as well start packing out.
Right.
Like, they're not good enough. That doesn't move the needle enough. There is talent on this roster. There's talent on both sides of the ball. They just don't have a quarterback to orchestrate it, and maybe don't even have the head coach to do it either. Like, I think Matt Rule is a good program builder in terms of what he did at Temple and what he did at Baylor. That doesn't always translate to NFL, though. You know what I mean? Like, you might be good at rallying kids together and recruiting. It changes a little bit when they're grown men in the locker room that are making more money than you. So, we'll see what happens, but I'm not blown away by it. I don't think it really changes anything. Honestly, and it sucks for the Browns because this means Jacoby Brissett's for sure playing quarterback for you, and you're losing every game Jacoby Brissett plays.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you there. All right. What are you working on over on ESPN, my man? So Dolphin fans can check you out.
I mean, tomorrow I'm about to be working on my backswing, working on my driver, working on my new wedge set. We're still in that down period until training camp starts on the 26th. So this is, like I said before, it's more of a refreshing period for me, watching film that's applicable from last season and watching some Niners film from last season, knocking out a couple of feature pieces. Like I said before, I've got a couple things in the works that until they really materialize, I don't want to put out into the world yet. But if they do materialize, it's going to be things that I'm excited to work on. But yeah, man, enjoying just the last calm before the storm starts, because this storm is coming, man. It's hurricane season, right?
Yep. Can't wait, baby. You'll be covering that Super Bowl in February. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't mind either way. I mean, it's a win-win, right? Either I'm covering the Super Bowl in my old college state.
Dolphins in the Super Bowl is what you're going to be covering. So I'm just saying.
That is the only reason I would go to the Super Bowl, yes.
Well, that's the only reason to go to a Super Bowl is because the Dolphins are there. Come on, what's wrong with you?
And you know what? And if they're not, then that means that I'm in Miami in February.
No, there's no if they're not. They're there, okay? Don't start with the if stuff, okay? Don't start polluting the waters here, okay, Marcel? We're going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, that is not my job. If ESPN wants to tack on a couple more grand a year to say that the Dolphins are Super Bowl contenders, then they pay me. But right now they pay me to tell the truth. And let's make the playoffs.
And the truth is they're going to the Super Bowl. That's the truth, isn't it?
In order of goals you should be aiming for as a Miami Dolphins organization, make the playoffs, then win your division, then win a playoff game, and then we could talk about the Super Bowl. But until any of those four things have happened, I don't want to hear about step 4.
All of it is going to happen this year. They're going to win playoff games, not games, and they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then Disney's going to buy the movie rights, and you'll see it on Disney Plus in 2025.
Why not? Why not? Instead of Ted Lasso, it'll be Mike McDaniel. That's it. That's what it's going to be. All right? Ted doesn't look like a coach. Mike doesn't look like a coach, yet they're both winners. It's a beautiful thing.
Ted Lasso doesn't win shit, though. Like, that is one thing we don't talk about. It's a great show.
He did win. They're going to get elevated to the next to the they're in
they got promoted.
They got promoted to the main league, bro. Come on.
But did they win the championship league, or were they just promoted? Because it's top 2 teams.
They got promoted. That's winning. When
you're top 4, I don't know how that works, man.
When you've been relegated and you get promoted, that's a win, bro. Come on, give the man, give Ted Lasso some credit when he's due it, bro. Come on, wrong with you?
He took a Premier League ready team from the Championship League back to the Premier League, and that is after starting the season with 7 straight draws. So,
pretty impressive.
You got Danny Rojas and I almost said Jamie Vardy and Jamie Tart up front, and Sam Obasanya, who's apparently midfielder of the year. There's too much talent for them to be drawing and losing in the damn Championship League.
Football is life,
and sometimes death.
Football is life. Okay.
Yeah, I need season 3 to come out. We just rewatched it, and I rewatched it. My girlfriend watched it for the first time and loved it. So we need season 3 expeditiously. Let's go, Apple.
I gotta say, I gotta give the tall blonde lady some props. I tell you, she's one hell of a body she's got.
She is a woman. The character development is what I care more about. The character development.
Great character development, but I just gotta say, great curves in that woman. So
I will not say that. I'm gonna leave that to you.
Hey, I'll take it. No problem. I'll cross the finish line. How's Rachel Bush? All right. Anyway, we'll catch up with you later on in the week, my brother. We appreciate you as always. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work there at ESPN.
All right. I'll see you Thursday.
Appreciate you. You got it. There's nothing like making any of these guys uncomfortable, right? Ira, Marcel. It's always awesome to make them uncomfortable. That is Marcel Louis-Jacques, baby. And our Edge energy drink, Miami Dolphins, with no Miami Dolphins report in it.